Hey, Bob, guess what? It's another edition of Let's Chat Sales.
No, Let's Chat Sales.
Yes, it is. We're going to talk about how to quit your job, and as you move into your own thing, when you go off on your own, how to go about doing
So
it.
this would be that scenario where you've been working at your full-time job, probably during the day, and you've been building a business, your solution to the world's problem at night and on weekends and on your days off. And now suddenly you've maybe gotten a couple customers, or you're just ready to make that jump. Right?
And how do you do it? How do you go about doing it?
And the key being how to do it without causing problems. You don't want to burn a bridge.
So the first thing is, legally, can you do it? Right? Let's just start right there.
Because you might have a
non-compete or
a non-disclosure agreement also.
Or whatever value that you create in your spare time belongs to somebody else, right? And so that's beyond the purview of this conversation. I mean, if you got some sort of legal document, or you're somehow constrained from working on something outside of this, outside of your job, then you got to go talk to someone who really knows that, and you got to have them examine whatever the document or documents are that are constraining you, because that's not in our. I would
say, if you think this might be an issue, worth your time to go talk to a lawyer before you leave your job.
That's
money
figure
well
that
spent.
out. Figure that out.
ROI on that, huge.
So then that's one. The other is, have you been doing it in such a way that it's ethically to the benefit of yourself and is not harming your employer, right? Are you doing things?
Employer, so you're not going to steal all their customers.
You're not stealing your customers. You're not taking their intellectual property. You're not working for your business on their time and getting paid. I mean, that's just, let's be human about this. Let's be upstanding citizens. If you're cranking away
if you believe in karma, bad karma's coming at you. If you
totally believe in karma, right? So karma is key. That's another one, right? So you got those out of the way, and now it's, how do you go about doing it? Like, what's the right way to tackle that? You want to take a stab at it? I have a lot of experience in this, but
I've got some ideas. I mean, one is, I think, having an honest discussion with your employer about the situation. I found, and I've left, in my career, I've left 15, 16 jobs. I've always done it with the utmost respect and concern, and always the thought in the back of my head, I might actually have to work with this person or company again. And in one case, the person who was my boss became my boss unbeknownst to me at a second job. And several other times, people that I worked with in my career have been at jobs where I've worked. So especially in a town like Baltimore, if you're in the Baltimore area like you and I are, everyone knows everyone.
It's a small world.
If you're in an industry that's very small, everyone knows everyone in that industry all over the place.
There's no such thing as a big industry at this point because of the internet and so forth. But like, I work in, a large part of my work is in healthcare and in health technology. And that is arguably the biggest industry in this country and one of the biggest industries in the world. One of the reasons it tends to be small is because everyone tends to niche down. So even though I'm in a particular part of healthcare, I'm in the part where you connect the interface between physicians and patients and health plans and customers, members, and that side. So I don't get involved in back-end billing anymore or EMRs and that sort of stuff. So that niches you down right away. So it's a small world. So not to belabor the point, but you're going to run into people again.
So it's best to do it in the most.
So let's do it the right way. Let's be upstanding.
Be upstanding. So having that discussion with your employer, not as you're thinking about it, but when you're really like close to it or actually going to do it. In several cases, I've actually said to my employer, hey, I'm getting ready to leave. I've got some things coming, and I just wanted to give you a heads up because I know it takes a while to replace someone. And I might be giving you my 2 weeks notice in the next couple of weeks. So you might want to start seeing get the ad ready and those things.
So when you do that, there are a bunch of things that could happen. One of which is, and this is one you have to be prepared for. One of them is, okay, if you're leaving, don't let the door hit you on the way out. We're ready to see. Right. You'll have to ascertain whether or not your company is like that. Some companies, they want you out there that day. Other companies, they're very tolerant. It depends on the relationship you have with them, that sort of thing. The other is...
It also might matter whether they think you could take their customers.
Right. Well, that's certainly going to affect...
If you're doing something that's very similar to what they're doing, they may cut you off right away so that now you've told them, hey, I'm going out to be your competitor.
Right. And if you're going out to compete with them, that's a whole other kettle of fish. And then you have to wrestle with that. How are you going to tackle that? Then you know you're not going to be received very well from them if they view you as a potential competitor. But all right, so that's maybe in some cases the worst case scenario. But
the
another
worst case scenario is you leave them and they actually hire you.
Well, that's where I was going. Yeah. It was
okay.
like,
Great minds.
right. Yeah. I was going to say that they could hire you. They could come back at you and say, oh, no, we don't want you to leave. We're going to pay you more money. Think, all right, and why don't you keep developing your thing on the side, but we'd like to keep you because you're invaluable to us. That's one. Another is they become your customer. Or they hire you part-time afterwards as a consultant, part-time for the transition. Or maybe they decide, hey, listen, we still want you, but we're going to spend less on you. And this way, if we get you as a consultant, maybe we can ratchet back how much our investment is or what have you. So that's another scenario.
Who worked for a company and he told them what he was going to go off and do. And they said, we're really interested in that area. We've been talking about that area. They started talking about it and they actually bought his solution.
Yeah.
And made him the head of that solution in their company.
Yeah. Oh,
crazier things have happened.
Yeah. That could definitely be the sort of thing, that could be the outcome, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
so that's possible options.
Yeah, exactly.
But the key behind all of them and all those possibilities is being honorable and doing it as effectively as you can. Because if you start burning bridges or bad-mouthing your company or going out and selling what you're doing while you're still working for the company on their time, it tends to get back to them.
Yeah, that's kind of schmucky. Yeah, that's like, I wouldn't recommend that. And this goes back to the fact that it's a small world. And I'm running into this right now in a certain circumstance where we've got an ex-employee and they're going to kind of undermine the enterprise.
They also ruin their reputation, which could be damaging to you in the long run.
Yeah. So
if you're bad, well, the reason I started this company is because I didn't like the way my company was doing it. So I wanted to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
That tends to not make for good playground activities later in the day.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think we killed this one, don't you?
I think we covered it pretty well. I think the one thing I would say is do it honorably.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to you.
Let's do it again.
Okay, that was another episode of Let's Chat Sales, a quick one, of course, and I hope it was helpful. And if it was, please like and subscribe, and more importantly, share it with your friends. There should be something right here you could point to and click on and try that out. It should be good. It's probably good. Certainly short. It's probably helpful. And thanks for listening or watching.